Wake up, sleepers. It's time for the next episode. Now, before we start our new cycle, remember we've used up all of our dice. Getting ready to start a new cycle. We've only got 2 cycles left before this hunter guy gets here. And I hope that doesn't mean the game's over. I'm going to have a lot of re-recording to do. But what I want to check out before I go to sleep for the night is to check out these new locations. We have the Free Spoke here. We have Founder's Gap, which looks like it might be, since it has either a merchant shop or we're going to have to pay some sort of toll when we get there. We got a couple of new locations we want to check out. And since they were flashing in yellow, they might have cutscenes for them, which is why I shut the video off last time. So let's check. Free Spoke. Okay, so we've got Enter the Spoke, a tangled network of service passages and makeshift tunnels cut through the spoke as if it were a hive. There are no maps here. So if we work on that, that's a danger one, but it can get us progress on the Spoke Climber thing down here. The spoke is layer after layer of dense urban fabric. The only way to explore it is vertically. So this leads towards the center of the eye, I'm assuming. And if we scale the spoke here, blistered with precarious elevators and stairways, the spoke can be navigated from the outside, but the climb requires bravery. So if we do this one over here, if we do the risky one, we get +2 on Spoke Climber and we lose energy. If we do this one, we get +2 on Spoke Climber and we lose condition. But we can do neither one of these at the moment because we are out of dice. So that's the spoke leading towards the center. Then there's Founder's Gap. To reach the Greenway, you need to pay for a pass. A practice invented by the spacers moored here. They call it Founder's Ferry. So in order to get those mushrooms that Emphas wants, we have to get to the Greenway, which means we have to get 150 credits. Now, 150 cryo. Now this is, I'm thinking this is bad news and good news, is because at this point, I don't think there's any decisions I could have made that would have allowed me to get 150 cryo to be able to get over there, especially since we had to buy multiple meals from Emphas just to get this quest, or this drive, I'm sorry. I'm thinking this tells me that when that hunter guy gets here, whoever it is, it's not going to be game over. I think it might put more restrictions on our game or open up a new mechanic, or who knows, the person hunting me might actually turn out to be a good guy. Some sort of twist, as you often see in games. But I think that means it's safe for me to sleep now. Perhaps we'll have another expository cutscene, or perhaps we'll just get a reload on our dice. We don't have anything to give the thing, and we don't have any dice to use there. So we're going to end cycle. Let's see what happens. Take a sip of coffee. Yes, I still drink LaCroix, but I've been recording these in the morning. Alright, so we got a 1 dice, and we know that the 1s and the 2s and the 3s are good in the cloud, which is kind of avoiding at the moment because a hunter there. And we got some 4s and 3s, which are okay in the not cloud. So now what is the best way for us to earn some money? Now we could go work at the bar. Not Emphasis Stall, not Low End. Where was the bar at? It has the picture of the martini, obviously. There it is. So we could go work here. We could do a bar shift. I wonder how much this will pay. Pay isn't great, but tips can make all the difference. So I'm guessing that once we get to good service, then we'll make more pay. But what if we use a 3 here? Can we use a 3 here? There we go. I'm guessing if we get negative, we get nothing. Or maybe we only get 10 cryo. But either way, it's enough to buy another meal, which we don't need at the moment, but it should bring us closer to. Alright, we got positive outcome, which means we got 15 cryo, and we got 2 on good service. So we got 15 cryo from that job. That was just red because it was, and this is still, we're still waiting for these guys, right? Okay. So we need to build up money. Money is our main issue at the moment. And we know we didn't get much money from here, but we are almost to yard hand, which could help us get perhaps better jobs. Let's see what happens if we do this one. Neutral outcome, so we got +1 on yard hand. You observe the shipbuilders and try to make yourself useful, carrying tools and crates. You begin to notice how they work. Go ahead and do it again. Alright, got 5 cryo and +2 yard hand. So now I'm a yard hand, so what does that get for me? So let's leave and come back and see what it says. Oh, well, alright, so we got unlocked this sidereal horizon assembly line, so it unlocked a new location. Havenage offices are already there, and it looks like we've unlocked some new characters. Let's check the unit assembly first. So this is a new job setting, it looks like. Do systems fitting. Sidereal horizon is webbed with complex systems bundled like nerves in a body. Your job is to lay these systems in. We're working our way up to junior tech or welder's mate. Quality control. Shipbuilding spots in the sidereal horizon are hard to come by. Poor work will see you drop from the roster. So I'm guessing if we get negative rolls, then we will get quality control. And if this gets filled up, then we will probably not be able to work on here again. So we want to save these for good positive things that are almost always positive, especially since we got a +1. So we should be able to do okay with 4s and above on here. Structural fitting is safe, but probably pays less. If we get to be a welder's mate, you have a spot supporting the weld team, a good place to prove you know how to put a ship together. I think junior tech would probably be more my speed. It's something I would be more interested in. So let's see who these are. Havenage offices. We've already been there, right? Yeah. Oh, we gotta give them fragment supplies. Sophisticated tech is rare on the eye, so the shipyard is happy to pay for ship mine fragments they can dismantle and reuse. Now, if I need money, I could turn in my fragments, but I need fragments because I need to build a ship mine. We need data. We need Yadigan data. So I don't know if Yadigan's going to be a good guy or a bad guy. He's the one that helped us secure, or at least he worked with Sabine to secure our pharmaceuticals. Alright, let's check out Lim and Mina. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast, a landscape of plating and frames. All along her flanks, torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale of industry is both stunning and strangely unsettling. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast. Oh, we've already read that. She's quite beautiful, I think. So is this Lim? I'm guessing Lim is the man or person, and Mina is going to be the little person he's carrying. Shipyard worker and his daughter. He turned to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the railing. He is thin, ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the sidereal horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. Lim. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out at the ship. And this is Mina. He adds with a smile. Mina or Mina, I don't know. It's up to you. I'm gonna say hi to Mina. She stares and tucks herself behind Lim, who dutifully picks her up. She's a little slow to trust, aren't you, Mina? She buries her face in the folds of his overalls. Mina looks out from Lim's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her, then? Lim asks eagerly, gesturing to the vast ship, or just admiring? He shifts Mina away to his other arm. Working. Me too, me too. He flashes a Havenage pass. I knew it just to look at you. I mean, he stumbles a little over his words, not wanting to be misunderstood. I mean, you look like a worker. She's Mina and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to She's Mina's and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. How? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a Havenage contract on the sidereal horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey through, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina, if it means landfall in a new world. He winks. Decades? It's a long trip. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Celes Foundation is sending thousands of people to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. The Celes Foundation? They are Havenage's client. Yeah, some wealthy project from the core systems, interested in independence and self-sufficiency and all that. They hired the whole shipyards out, helped rekit it and everything. He strokes Mina's hair. Someone else's dream, I suppose. But doesn't mean people like me and Mina can't tag along. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food! Pulling an exaggerated, grumpy face. She glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lim's neck. I'm just chatting a little, meanie. Give Daddy a sec. He turns back to you and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Havenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We have to stick together. He smiles a little shakily and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. I'm working on it. He looks out at the sidereal horizon as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hall. We've got to hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he is talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eyes curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me, she says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lim smiles and lifts Mina. That's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We are just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. Gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on a shift, huh? He turns and they walk down the walkway, away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and then a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot! Her shout echoes down the walkway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lim. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the sidereal horizon. A ticket out. And so now if we go back to here, just the same stuff. Where did we read? Oh, it's here. All right, so that was just a little meeting place thing. So now we're still good on food. Nothing we can really spend our money on. Low end is just this stuff. We don't have any dice here. It seems like we would use creds to play Tabla, but I'm not, you know, I'm not a gameologist. Ord Exchange, we can't buy anything at the Ord Exchange. There's no merchants. Ambergris, we still got this woman to help out. So it doesn't look like we're running out of time on this one though. We just have to make sure we don't get the negative result. Something we've learned the hard way. So now let's go back into the cloud. Now if we do something here, we're probably going to attract Hunter. So what's going to happen if we attract Hunter? Now we've got key nodes and Solheim nodes. This network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. Somebody wanted, alright, so we need a ship mind, we need the Ord Exchange, disabling our tractor. So help Feng choose his leads. Now I forgot exactly, does he need Havenage or Solheim? This is where we just came from. Solheim data. Okay, so we need Solheim data. Let's go back to the cloud and get some Solheim data. The key node, a Solheim node. We need a 2. Darn it, now we need a 2 or a 4. We've never needed a 4 before. It's a 2 or a 3. We don't have a 3. We might have to do something else different. Havenage agent, 2 or 3. Alright, so we're going to be stuck with a 1 overnight, it looks like. Maybe then the next morning. Alright, so Yadigan agents. Alright, so we can do this one. That'll give us some data on Yadigan at least. Some gang enforcers' implants are chirping out comm signals. Time to see what they're talking about. Alright, we got some Yadigan data. Did you hear that weird noise? I don't know if you heard it. Is that Hunter? The data cache came from Yadigan hardware. So continue. A glimmer in the dark catches your eyes as the orb of Hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. Try hiding. You slip down into the ghostly structures of the eye, feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye. Closer now. Closer now. That roving orb, wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way. Its waving threads creating a cage. Struggle. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You are caught by the whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing, comes the scream from behind, but you are already gliding away, back to your anchor, back to your body. You awake, dizzy, distorted, but safe. Alright, so we escaped from Hunter, but will it be just as easy next time? I guess we lost a couple up here, a couple of this. Remember, if this gets too low, then we have to have 100 to pay for the stimulant, so I don't know how low that's going to get before it's become an issue. So now I can take this to dude, where you at, Fing's Bay, and he wants Solheim. No, we didn't get Solheim data. We got Haven. We got Yadigan data, which wants to go to Havenage. Let me clear that out of the way for you. Havenage offices. Give them some Yadigan data. I'm not going to give them any of our that stuff. How much are they going to pay for this Yadigan data? 10 cryo. I don't know if that's even worth it, but I don't know. The game isn't going to throw cryo at us, I suppose. And unfortunately, it's time to end this cycle. There's no need for us to buy any more food at the moment. There's nothing we can buy at the Overlook anymore. We can buy rations for 10. But is it as good as the fungus stuff? So that's the question. Are these are cheaper than the fungus, but are they just as good as the fungus as far as recharging our bars up here? Who knows? More and more choices. Alright, it's time to see what happens. We're going to end the cycle, and then the Hunter will be here. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. Good guy or bad guy? We've already got one bad guy we're contending with. Hunter in the cloud. Let's see what happens when this guy gets here. Dun dun dun. Alright, so we've lost some food. Alright, so we're gonna leave. Hold it there, sleeper, comes a voice from behind. Don't you run. Cynical bounty hunter, stay still. Good, good. A hand pats your coat down. You know your master's voice. Ethan spins you around. He's wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he is terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put? Ha ha ha! That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest, and it's hard to take your eyes off of it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring up from a belt loop without taking his eyes off you. Making it to the eye, though, that's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I put most of my contracts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the ring into 2 perfect circles. It's hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. Who are you? Just a freelancer on a contract. He reaches over to slide the rings around your wrist. Go easy. Make a break for it. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away and sprinting down the corridor. Then the shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine. Trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles. Going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, your mind racing. Who hired you? Your daddy's at SNR. They want you home for dinner. Ethan yawned and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to S&ARP right away. That tracker of yours makes this too quick. Was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know, a running battle through the bright market maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I would have enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That S&ARP tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I have an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship, we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. Stay silent. Although, muses Ethan, I've got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in the midst of one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we are heading for the exit. He pauses, and you trudge on in silence. Okay, here's the idea, starts Ethan. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns you to face him. You run or leave or try to abandon the Eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But, he smiles, you come to meet me at an establishment of my choice every few cycles and you pay my tab. I don't shoot you, he pauses. You don't pay my tab, he rattles his handgun. You get the idea. You're letting me go? Not at all. Let's call it open custody. You're free to mooch around the Eye as long as you can keep paying up. He stretches. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something in his belt and the rings release from your wrists. I'm going to see if I can find my own stool at the Compressor Club. Come to see me there. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Let me just remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the Eye, or I'll know. He then turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? Alright, so new drive, obviously, is to pay Ethan's tab. Maybe if you manage to pay his tab, Ethan will leave you alone. Wishful thinking, but what else can you do? Alright, so I knew it was going to be just another obstacle. Thank you, Lord, that we didn't just have to restart everything. We got a new drive. We need to finish up one of these drives so we can start getting more. We need some more skills. I mean, I guess we don't need the more skills, but. Alright, so we were working on disabling our tracker. So let's track that one. So Feng needs 2 more Solheim data. So let's go to the cloud and see if we can find some Solheim data again. We couldn't before because of we didn't have the right dice. So here we need a 2 or a 4. And we have a 4. Let's use that. That's going to unlock. Alright, we didn't get any credits for it, but we did get a Solheim data. Do we have any other Solheim nodes that we can hack into? This one needs a 2 or a 3. Alright, so there's a 3 we can use. Bypass. The Solheim demon attempts to protect this node, squeaking out protective protocols like a mantra. And so we got that, but we did not get any bonus credits, and we're 2 clicks closer to Hunter. Let's leave the cloud and go see Mr. Feng. I guess since there's so many of them, this is kind of like another similar game called Disney's Dreamlight Valley, where it's just all side quests pretty much. Alright, so let's look at our data. Alright, we got 2 Solheim data. As far as I know, he's the only one that wants it. So we give him that. Pay you well. So we got 15 cryo, which is actually better than a lot of the other jobs we have. Alright, so now you can see we've completed scoping the system. So now we have to step out, step back in. You can see the icon's changed and it's blinking. That means it wants us to go there. As you enter the bay, Feng is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Dumbheads, Feng's voice echoed from behind a stack, following by a hammer of a fist on a metal casing. Those snaky morons. Who's Snaky? Sleeper! Fing's smiling head just pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fing is sat in front of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fing waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The tables seem to be filled with personal information, names, genders, dates, ID numbers, all the markers of institutional records. Names. Okay, yes, but what kind of names? Havenage? Ha, not quite. He taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in. All employees of the Eye's original owners, Solheim. But, he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one, this snaky idiot. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Friend of yours? Fing gives you a sideways look. Funny you should say that, Sleeper. He drags a stool up beside him and motions for you to sit. There just so happens to be a Hardin Hurst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. In Havenage? That's it. He's right here on the station now. Fing leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Hardin worked on this station as a... Fing leans in to look across at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Fing raises his eyebrows at you. Our Hardin was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept the profit. It's very complicated. Good old Hardin shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know this? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Fing turns back to his screen, staring hard at the strings of codes flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and slept in Solheim beds. Fing's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge. And the work that paid for that existence, the cycles of heart extraction out in that belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. But I got a feeling about Lim and Mina that they're going to be disposable. This guy, stabbing at Hardin once again, with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some snake. He survived the revolution. Surely it can't be him. Fing relaxes a little. Who knows? He turns to you and smiles. So we are going to find out. Hardin is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back up around the eye from here. Fing brings up a map of the lower eye. Havenage might be born out of Erland's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy does not. Hardin happened to float to the top. Fing zooms in on the far yards. Fing grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is pretty paranoid and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Fing holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of a Hardin Hurst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Fing puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, a particular knack for remote access. Fing grins. If you can extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches. You can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm through any open port. You never even need go near the shipyards. So what do you say? Up for it? Yes, I knew it, and you'd be happy to catch the snake. And don't worry, once we nail this guy, I'll start work on that tracker of yours. I haven't forgotten. Fing scratches his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send back here to me. There's something wrong here, and I aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Fing digging through data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the Eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Hardin. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems looking for a new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you're intimately familiar with. You think of Hardin still alive, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly the past. Alright, so let's go do one shift at the shipyard. Was this okay? So this is, yeah, we're working on becoming quality control, so we have one safe one, so we can do. This is 12 cryo, 12 cryo. Both of them look like it's the same. We're both just different. We got 100% positive on systems fitting. It'll get us, probably just give us 1 on junior tech. But it'll definitely make it so that we do not have to. Yeah, we got +2 on systems tech. Must have been a very positive outcome. Alright, so now we leave. Now we don't have any. We didn't get any skill points right now. These drives take a lot longer to. That first drive we got through very quickly by disabling the tracker. I mean, how? I don't know. It's going to take a long time to get these. Alright, this game is going to be a little bit longer than I thought. But anyway, that's the end of this cycle. I don't know where our tab is going to have to be paid off at. Oh, there's the compressor club. Looks like we have 4 cycles before we have to pay off. So we need to save up our cryos to see how much that tab's going to be. Alright, so thank you for watching this far, Sleepers. Pretty interesting game. Lots of good story going on here. Layers upon layers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Have a good week.